Good morning and welcome to PT Live. One of the great spectacular successes of the Polish economy has been the Polish gaming industry. And today to talk with us is Łukasz Rosiński, who is Vice President of VARSAV Game Studios. And just to put this in context, there are 400 Polish gaming developers. Łukasz, is that impressive compared to other countries? I mean, maybe like Germany, or how does that look?
We are a huge market comparing to the amount of people that are living here in Poland. So about 500 companies in Germany. So the biggest market.
500 gaming companies.
Yes. So it's like.
And in Poland it's 400.
So of course, many big companies in Germany, but we also have big companies that are like above 1 billion zlotys, so about 250 million euros. We've got 4 of them.
Okay, I know CD Projekt or CD Projekt. What are the others? Is that one of the 4?
Yes, of course, it's the biggest company
and
here
the
in
other
Poland. The second biggest company here in Poland is Techland. It's guys that are responsible for a game called The Dying Light, very well-known game. Next, there are 2 quoted companies, so Playway, a big conglomerate of like 50 different companies, and 10 Square Games, the biggest mobile company here in Poland.
You said the third and the fourth were listed companies, so the first 2 are privately owned?
No, CD Projekt is also quoted.
Okay. Are they all based in Warsaw, or is it something that's spread across the country?
No, it's spread across the country. Playway is Warsaw, Techland is Wrocław, I don't remember, 10 Square Game is also, I think, Wrocław.
I mean, you know, people are taking it for granted now, which is great, that Poland has a great, strong gaming industry, but I mean, that didn't happen by chance. What are the reasons for this?
It happened for the last 10 years or 15 years. It started around this CD Projekt with the first Witcher game, so it's 12 years ago.
But was that accidental, or was there some sort of planning, or was it known that Poland could have a good one and people invested, or what was behind?
Definitely, we've got very good technical universities here in Poland. Many people, like programmers, are very skilled here. We are like an outsourced part of the Europe that like gives programmers to the eastern part of the Europe. And generally, we are very well known of the level of education of the people. So it's one of the biggest level of like higher education in the whole Europe that we've got. And what is very interesting with Poland is definitely our history. So we are like in between Germany and Russia, and all the time we had to like fight for ourselves. And I think that it's one of the reasons why we like think differently. We have very good ideas, and like many interesting games are like very interesting ideas. So we have to have a good idea.
And these ideas come from, I mean, let's say these companies, are they international teams, or is it very much Polish teams?
So like most of the companies, apart from the CD Projekt, are like most of the people in like Polish employees. CD Projekt is definitely like a global company right now. Most of the people are not from Poland. But the rest of them are mostly based on Polish workforce and Polish ideas.
Okay, so you got Polish ideas, you got the tech talent. What else? I mean, you know, it's been a really spectacular success internationally. So what other ingredients are there?
I think that we are also different in business development. So like once again, we had to fight like all the time. So we know how to do business, and this is a very big part of the gaming industry. It's not only that you have a good computer game, you also have to sell, make marketing, PR around this game to be able to go like to US or German market or Great Britain to show people that there is such game. There was like the first Witcher wasn't like a huge success globally. It was like a local success. Then the second Witcher like made it around the Europe, and only the third Witcher was a like huge global success. So like we need time. It's definitely, we just started. It's like 15 years, and all the industry like is about 50 years. So there was a huge gap. We just played games.
Well, I mean, my understanding is that your background is in more the capital markets, the commercial. Can you maybe just very briefly say about that and how the gaming industry looks from the commercial, from the capital markets aspect? There's a lot of investment from capital markets?
Yeah, definitely. This is unique also in Poland, that like investors on the stock exchange investors or private investors like computer games. Mostly because like 90% of the revenues of companies are like from the export. So it's definitely a very interesting part of the...
And you can grow with scale, I suppose. Yeah.
Scale is definitely very easy because it's digital mainly. So 50% of the market is digital right now. So it's much easier to, when you have a success of a computer game, it's much easier to sell it like globally. Like definitely it's unique from our perspective, and it gives us like this capital markets gave us like huge amount of money that were invested in the companies. We've got about 20 companies right now quoted on the stock exchange.
So on the main bourse of a Warsaw Stock Exchange?
Half of them is the main stock exchange.
And the other half on New Connect? Or?
Yeah, this small market. But still, we've got $7 billion as the total capitalization of the companies. Most of them, of course, is CD Projekt and those 4 big companies. But still, we've got around 10 of the companies are above 25 million euros. So, like, big enough to be interesting for big investors.
I mean, Poland is now, let's say, the Polish economy is also looking more at international markets, but in other sectors and industries, there's sometimes an issue with companies joining together to make a bigger impact. You know, they're going out alone. But my understanding is in the gaming industry, there is actually some coordination there. Is that true? Yeah. And is that natural, or has the government helped, or how does that look?
So one part of the industry is like developing games. The second part is like selling the games. And most of the companies here in Poland started with the cooperation with publishers from US, publishers from Europe. They helped us with the games at the beginning, so to show how interesting our games are. Now there is a phase of like changing, so we as Polish companies starting to publish the game by ourselves, but the know-how is like definitely global, so these big publishers gave us like possibility to have our games globally, and we learned how to do it, and some of the companies already started to publish the games by themselves, but it's like we are definitely a part of the global gaming industry. We know each other, like we know most of the publishers that are big global publishers, and global publishers know that like Polish gaming industry is interesting enough and big enough to invest or just to talk about the projects that are here.
And I've heard, I mean, I think this may be, people who know the industry, this may be obvious, but I've heard that the budgets for games are massive. Almost like Hollywood film budgets. Is that the case?
You must remember that like a computer game is much more complex project than a movie or like a music song, or like you need to have the same. So you need to have a script, you need to have people to make animations, you have to have people that make gameplay. So it's one of the biggest difference. So definitely we are very close to with the biggest games to the budget of big like Hollywood movies. Definitely the difference is much bigger. So between the biggest games and the smallest games, like even 2 people are able to do a small computer game. As I remember, CD Projekt is right now 3,000 people, like employees. So it all depends from the scale.
Yeah. But they can be massive budgets.
Definitely.
Yeah. We've only got about 40 seconds left. So just last question, what's your favorite game, if you can say? And what a prediction for the future? I mean, is Polish gaming industry going to get bigger and bigger and bigger, or you know?
Definitely, we see a huge amount of interesting projects here in Poland. So I don't see big risks here. I see a huge scale of these small companies that like are trying to be much bigger, are doing much bigger projects. So I think definitely we've got a very good moment.
And your favorite game?
The Witcher.
The Witcher. Okay. Very nice to meet you. Thank you very much for coming in.
Very nice.
Thank you.